got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Suffer to take what's yours. You are kings now, Clash of Titans.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony with Tornado Tag Podcast here with our interview series. Before we get anything started, I want to let you guys know, check the links below or the links on your podcast viewer for everything that we're going to talk about. So if you want to go and support merch pages or anything like that, that will be in the links going on right now. So and keep in mind as well that wrestling is not happening, so helping a guy out and grabbing some t-shirts or merch is always a good thing to do. And then so these guys can, guys and girls, when they come back to pro wrestling, they can get back to normal, because no one's getting any checks right now when it comes to or what do they say in the business, no envelopes right now. But on the phone we got Mad Maxx Morrison. Met this guy probably at like the beginning of our podcast birth here at an Outbreak show. Very, very, very entertaining. Followed him on social media, and he has a lot going on between wrestling and horror movies. I'm sure we'll get into all of it, but he's on the phone. So what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, my dude? How are you?
It's going great. This is one of the first times too where I'm actually you guys don't see it. One day when we get our better laptop, we'll be able to do what we're doing now, what I see, what you guys see with the little chat windows, but our laptop just unfortunately can't handle that right now. But I'm actually making eye contact in an interview, which is strange. I'm not used to that.
These are my favorite kind of interviews when I can see who I'm talking to, because then you really get the story, because I'm very expressionate, and it's just, it adds so much.
I think expressions are what made me remember you in your wrestling matches, because you are very expressive. You're not just extremely talented in the ring, but you tell a story while you do it. And I think that was what really put me over on your abilities in the ring. I don't know why I'm stuttering right now.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, you're in the midst of a, pseudo celebrity, somebody that's maybe on the, I don't know, I guess the O list, because, I'm like way past, and I'm not exactly like a type A, type B, but maybe a type O negative.
Yep.
Greatest band on the face of the earth.
I smelled that one coming.
But definitely appreciate the compliment, dude. It's fun to be here. It's fun to entertain. It's fun to do all this stuff. And I'm glad to be talking to you, dude, because it's been a while, because Outbreak hadn't ran in a hot while. And even before the COVID thing happened, I haven't really been on too many Outbreak shows since. So I haven't really had a chance to really catch up with you in a while. So how's things going?
It's been good. Yeah, they took a huge break for a while there, and it was actually almost concerning how long they took a break, because I was like, are they coming back? Are they done? And then they did their comeback show, and it was a hit. Like, people loved it. The crowd was awesome. And then as soon as they got that momentum back, they had that big hot show, COVID happened.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude. COVID really screwed a whole lot of people up. I had so many bookings on. I had so many dates on the calendar, but you know what? At the same time, as mad as I am, let me rephrase that, as upset as I am about COVID happening, it kind of was a blessing in disguise, because it gave, I know I'm going to speak for myself, but it gave me a break and gave me a chance to really kind of look at what I'm doing, take a step back from the grind, and kind of rework the business a little bit, rework myself, rework my work rate. And it gave me a chance to like kind of see what I was doing and kind of look at it from the inside to the outside, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was able to like get my body straight. Hell, I spent a whole bunch of money and put a gym in my house when they shut gyms down. It's like, well, I'm not going to go without that. And that really changed the game. And then I guess just everything else, it's adapting, but it's been good.
Yeah.
I have to say, because I was able to take a step back, watch some old wrestling, and it kind of twisted my headspace around that. And I watched a lot of movies, and it twisted my headspace around in a good way, because now I think wrestling is going to be a little different when Mad Max steps back in that ring in front of people, because now I've had time to kind of look at things a little different and do some studying and apply some things, and you guys are going to be hopefully happy with the results. So, and if you're not, you can kiss my ass. I really could give a shit.
I love it. So at what point did you fall in love with pro wrestling?
I was a young kid. When I did. I used to be in the Boy Scouts. Surprise, surprise. And my scout leader and their kids actually used to have all the action figures, and like the TV shows were on when I'd show up for the meetings, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, we got to turn this off because we got to do business." I was like, no. You can keep that on for a little bit. Nobody else is here yet. Teach me about this.
Yeah.
So I got hooked when I was, I think I got hooked in like 94. And then probably a few years after that, I really got into it when it was like right in between like the the new generation of WWF and the Attitude Era.
Yep.
So I was following WCW. I got into the ECW. The first pay-per-view my household ever bought was Heatwave 97.
We did a whole show on
actually,
that. We did a whole show on that episode, on that pay-per-view.
That was such a good show.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. The first show that my household ever bought on pay-per-view was SummerSlam 96, where it was Shawn Michaels versus Vader. But then the next show we ever bought was ECW 97. And, I just kept going from there. But then luckily for me, when I got into middle school, I met a kid who taught me about independent wrestling. He taught me about wrestling in Japan. So I bought all the FMW tapes. Like, that's when I learned about Hayabusa, Mr. Pogo, Mr. Gansuke. I learned about like Wayne Kenimura. That's when I got into Cactus Jack. I was like, "Yo, Cactus Jack is my stuff." Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I hit all that stuff. I'm now just getting into the New Japan scene. When I was a kid, I was very brand loyal. You could not get me to watch anything but WWE. I went to a friend's house one time, and he was doing the flip back and forth during commercials, and I said, I will never watch wrestling here on a Monday night, because if I miss anything of Raw, I'm going to be upset. And I felt betrayed when all my guys left and went to another company. So I have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to old WCW, because I was a very closed-minded wrestler, which I think I'm afraid that people are starting to do now, and I'm trying to make them not do that by advice. Like don't short sell yourself, because right now wrestling is the best time in the world to be a wrestling fan. There's just so much content out there between TV and independent scenes, and it's just so easily accessible with different platforms, man. It's just a great time to be a fan of the entertainment.
See, growing up, I loved when guys would like hop over, because I was probably in middle school when WCW and WWE were going like at odds, and they were doing the Monday Night Wars and battling back and forth. So whenever I would see guys from WWF go over and then come over to WCW, because it was kind of weird, because in my household, I was watching WWF and my dad was watching WCW. So I'd go upstairs and he'd be like, "Yo, who's on your TV?" He'd be like, "These guys and these guys." Then he'd come downstairs and be like, "Well, your guys from over here are actually over here." And I'm like, "Word? No shit."
Yeah.
So then I started watching, but then eventually I became more of a WCW guy, because I don't know. It's like I'm an entertainment guy, like through and through, but I really enjoy, when it comes to pro wrestling, I actually enjoy pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Like the skits and all that stuff is fun. I love characters. I'm a character guy, like through and through. Hell, I'm a character myself, and that's not even just wrestling. That's just life.
Don't lie. You like WCW because they had mummies and wizards, and it was like horror movie wrestling. Chucky was there one time.
Not gonna lie. I was actually I thought Chucky was gonna be cool, but he upset me because he had like the stitched up face, and that's the worst Chucky of all, because I thought he was a fucking turd. So. Anyway. We could totally have that conversation maybe on another day. But later on I learned about Robocop.
Yeah, Robocop was there.
Robocop was there, which I was a big Robocop fan. As I got older, being a horror fan, Robocop's my man. Those movies are gnarly.
Robocop was at an Outbreak show one time too.
Dude, I don't know how in the hell my parents let me watch Robocop when I was a kid, man, because that thing was friggin' disgusting, and I love it.
Yeah, when they shot him up, man, you go back and rewatch that, you're like, oh my god, I watched that when I was what age? Like,
oh, dude, and then the thug was all mutated up, and then got hit by a car and just exploded on everybody. It's like, seriously, is this happening in real life?
Yeah, Robocop.
I'm like 9 years old. I'm like 9 years old watching this. I'm like, is that what happens when you get hit by a car?
RoboCop was literally maybe one or two more scenes like that away from being the Toxic Avenger. But
Toxic. Yeah, but funny enough, dude, my parents actually were more in support of me watching Toxic Avenger than they were RoboCop.
Wow.
Because I used to have all the Toxic Crusader figures. I used to follow Trauma. But also my first job when I was like 16, I worked at a video store because I've always been like a film hound.
Yeah,
that was like kind of where the madness began, because I was a comic book kid growing up, and then eventually got into movies, and then the madness. Yeah, because we're going to talk about that too, because the madness grew into what it is now. So when I was working at a Hollywood Video, if anybody remembers those,
I loved Hollywood Video.
When I was 16,
where were you raised? Like what area did you grow up? Like state?
I grew up in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm in Southside Virginia. I'm like 15, 16 years old. I'm inlining. I'm aggressive skating up to the video store like every day. And I would go hang out with all the employees and be like, what's new? What's good? What's happening? To the point where they were like, hey, come clean our windows. Get 20 rentals on your account. No problem. I'll clean your windows. And then eventually they're like, let's offer you a job. Sick. What perks? All the movies you want. My man. So I went to the VHS section of Hollywood, and I got to a point, because I'm so obsessed with movies, and I surely was when I was a teenager, where I actually took inventory of the entire horror section, the VHS horror section, and took inventory of everything and made a list. I made an Excel spreadsheet of the entire inventory and went down and checked. It was like, I have to watch everything that we have. And I did that. Well, I got like 60 to 70 some odd percent through it before I quit.
Yeah.
But it was still fun, man, because the love of horror was always there, man.
My favorite thing about Hollywood was when they opened up the game crazes inside.
Oh, yes.
They were. That was a good video game store. But so when you got into wrestling, and we'll bounce back and forth. This is going to be a movie reference here. This is going to be very Tarantino to this interview. I'm sure we're going to jump around a lot. But
so Mad Max is very all over the place. So this will be very mad. This will be a very mad interview. So just try to keep up, please.
Yeah, don't blink. When did who were some wrestlers they caught your eye on TV and really like they were the ones you followed or you were a big fan of?
So I know for me, I guess from the beginning I was a big Road Warriors guy. Like the spikes, the haircuts, the makeup, they looked huge. I was like, because I was always a comic book kid, so I was like, dude, these guys look like they jumped out the page.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Road Warriors. And then I got into Sting, and then I learned about The Undertaker. And then I started following guys like Stone Cold, who end up, hey, surprise, surprise, end up growing up to be like him. Hey, whatever. I'll drink my beer. I throw my middle finger up. I defy authority.
My wife just bought our dog. Like our dog is like our kid, so she's always buying toys. And she just came home and gave our dog a dog toy, but it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, that's incredible. We just got a new Chug like about a year ago, and he's incredible. I love this guy. He's like a pug Chihuahua mix.
Nice.
And he's black and gray. I named him Brody. I was like, hey, babe, we need this guy. He's Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody Morrison.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a
Love
lot.
me. Love me. Yeah, but that's the funny thing, though, about my influences, because I got into, like, Road Warrior, Sting, Undertaker, and then I loved Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a Stone Cold guy, and then when Mankind came on the scene, I was like, yo, that's my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned about Cactus Jack. And then I started going backwards, and then I started falling in love with guys like Mike Awesome, Chris Candido, New Jack. I know not a lot of people like New Jack, but I love me some New Jack. That's my dude.
Yeah, he's not high on my list of favorite people.
I love New Jack. Well, it's like even because when I fell in love with ECW, I used to watch one of the scrambled channels we used to have back in Virginia when we used to play, because it was on the same channels like the original Ultimate Fighting Championship back when it was bare knuckle, no weight limits.
Mm-hmm.
It was no weight limits, no limits whatsoever. And you had like Hoist Gracie fighting Chemo, and they were like two different fight styles, but two different weight class. It was the same channel as that, and that's when I was learning about it. I was learning about ECW because I used to watch that, and then that's why I fell in love with New Jack. I fell in love with Shane Douglas, and Shane Douglas is my dude. Love Shane Douglas to death. Hey, how much can we curse on the show?
You can curse all you want.
Yo, I don't care if I catch heat. Fuck Ric Flair.
Really?
Shane Douglas is my world champion.
Yeah. I have a super fan of the show. He's like my best friend, but he loves the show. He'll probably share that sentiment. I mean, he's a huge Ric Flair fan too, but we always joke. He's like, who's the greatest of all time? And he says, well, if it's not Flair, it's Douglas. And I'm like, well, I like Michaels. He goes, F Shawn Michaels. Shane Douglas is better.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels is hella entertaining, and I had my times where I've jumped in. Shawn Michaels is one of those guys that I've jumped into and jumped out of and jumped back into and out of a few times, but Shane Douglas has always been my dude. That time in XPW in the early 2000s when he went to California, he told WCW just suck it over the phone in front of the fans. I was like, best promo. Well, next to the Dudleys at Heatwave 98. Shane Douglas in California telling WCW "Suck it, I quit" was like one of the best promos ever.
Well, the guy who I was just talking about, he was there the night where he threw the belt down. Douglas, he was in the arena that night when it happened.
No way,
Yep.
That's incredible.
The birth of the ECW championship.
He said, "I don't give a damn about any of these champions. Fuck this NWA belt and everybody that held it, including Dick Flair. I am the Extreme Championship World Champion."
Yep.
You tell him, Shane.
Did you ever get to work him?
Tell him. No, but I've been in the locker room with him a couple times, and he's incredible.
Yeah.
He is super incredible. Love him to death.
He was supposed to be at Outbreak twice, and both times he no-showed them. I was really disappointed.
Yeah, well, he was booked to be at VCW in Norfolk twice. Well, VCW in Virginia twice, and he showed up twice. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what that says.
Yeah, I was bummed. I was bummed a lot, but that they surprised us when he didn't show up. They had Sandman come the second time, which it was cool to see Sandman live.
I've got my feelings about Sandman. See, I grew up loving Sandman because I was like, yo, beer swinging, smoking cigarettes.
He doesn't drink
swinging
anymore.
Canes on people. How much of that do you believe?
We tried though, because we were like, I want to have a beer with Sandman. He's like, sorry guys, I don't drink anymore.
I don't believe it. I call bullshit.
He brought all the beers to the ring, but he wouldn't partake.
No. I don't believe it, dude. So Sandman told me to fuck off at WrestleCade in 2017.
Oh wow.
So I have a problem with Sandman, but at the same time, he borrowed tape from me at Outbreak that night. Well, actually at AXW before it became Outbreak.
Okay.
It was that show where they had the Raven seminar, and he was like, "Who's got tape?" And I gave him a roll of tape so he could tape up his cane. He goes, "All right, thanks, brother." And then he came and did his thing. Yeah, I marked out, and I video recorded his entrance, but at the same time, I was like, "Fuck you, prick. You told me to fuck off when I wanted to be a fan, and you made me feel like a piece of shit. You can kiss my ass.
What happened? Like, what was the? I don't want to do it turn to a shoot interview, but like, what did you say? What was said that transpired where he told you to go fuck yourself?
So, it was 2017. It's WrestleCade. It's North Carolina. It's like the big convention. I don't mind turning into a shoot because I don't mind talking about stuff. It's not like I'm telling him to go fuck himself. It's just a story that happened.
Yeah.
It was one of those because the Sandman was always my guy. When I saw him originally, I was like, yo, this guy's swinging canes, smoking cigarettes, and drinking beer. This is my dude. Because I've always been a rock and roller, and he's coming out to Metallica before Metallica was, dumb. And I'm like, yo, this is my guy. I used to keep a picture from World of Wrestling magazine in my locker. I had a picture of Taz with the FTW and World Championship belts, and I had a picture of Sandman hunched over a rope with spit pouring down his face, covered in blood. And it was incredible, and it used to freak out like everybody in my school. Who gives a fuck? It was me. So when I finally get to see him at his table, and he's sitting there signing stuff, and he goes, "Hey, Sandman, I'm Maxx. I'm super excited to meet you. Been a fan for a long time." He goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And I goes, "I'm nobody." And then I just took my shit and walked away. I was like, no way. No.
The only,
but then that's when I met Shane Douglas, and he was sitting next to Kevin Sullivan. I met so many people that day, dude. Johnny Swinger was cool to me. I ended up telling Drew Gallows where to buy fucking rubber bracelets with messages on them. He was like, "Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. You got on your wrist. Where do you get those at?" And I was in an elevator in the parking garage. So I was like, "Dude, I can totally tell you where to get these. Just plug this in."
Yeah.
Shane Douglas took the time. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. He totally took Shane took 30 to 45 minutes just to BS with me and gave me all kinds of awesome advice.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm forever grateful to Shane Douglas.
Yeah. The only guy I ever met that I was disappointed with, and this is not me making a breaking news or a podcast says something outlandish, but when I met Jerry Lawler at the Outbreak show, we walked up in line and we're talking to him, and I mean, you looked around the room at an Outbreak show at that point in time in that part of Pennsylvania. It's a very white crowd. So I think Jerry was feeling comfortable and he was talking to white kids. And he said some stuff that I wasn't a huge fan of. He was kind of putting down colleagues and saying some stuff like, yeah, it sucks that WWE doesn't put good people up behind the table and they have to put a black guy back there. And I was like, yikes, Jerry. I'm going to get going. Yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? And it kind of it bummed me out a little bit. I'm not accusing Jerry of being racist, but some things he said were they were borderline. They weren't. It made me a little uncomfortable. But and the other guy that I met and I was a fan going in, but I think I was one of the only ones petitioning for this guy. And then everyone kind of met him that night, and they're like, you know what? I think you were kind of right on him. Was Enzo? Enzo was at a PPW show, and everyone was shitting on Enzo, and he literally. Now it was Enzo, Rhino, Devon Dudley, and there was somebody else big there. I think Frank Mir and Austin Aries or something like that. And Enzo had the biggest line, and he made sure he gave everyone their just due and had a conversation with everybody, hung out with them. He was the nicest dude I ever met.
Dude, so last summer, Enzo came down with Crime Time and Kelly to ACW, James Ellsworth's promotion.
Yeah.
I've been working for him for almost a year now, and it's been nothing but good. And meeting Enzo, you walk in, you're like, I don't know what to expect with this guy because, everything that they say on the internet about him, blah, 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 blah. Well, I went in there, shook his hand, says, hey, what's up? I happened to walk in on a conversation, and he was giving advice. I sat there, soaked it in, and I stopped him afterwards. I shook his hand. It's like, hey, brother, I appreciate what you said, and I loved it. And he looks me up and down and goes, brother, I don't know your deal, but I fucking believe it.
Yeah.
That's all he said. He eyeballed me up and down. He looked at me because I was in my full gear. I was ready to go do my match. I was like, hey, you mind to give you a card? We can connect, whatever. He was like, yo, whatever your deal is, I fucking believe it. I see this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me feel incredible. I was like, after hearing what he was preaching, I was like, all right, this dude just gets bad rap. I think that's all that was with him, because Enzo is actually a solid dude. He was cool as fuck.
It was at the same night that he was putting over. Right when we seen him is right when Cass had his second breakdown, and he had when he was
like
right
he had
after that.
Yeah, he couldn't make a show. Like Cass was, they were supposed to do a tag deal, but Cass couldn't make it, so Enzo came out and did like a speech early in the show, and he totally put it over. It's like, people with problems look out for this stuff.
Yeah,
and he put Cass over, and he looked out in full support. Seriously, Enzo is a stand-up dude, and I'll actually go to bat for that guy. He was super cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the same line, too, where I was talking to Devon, and I said to him, hey, man, because he has 2 sons in the tag division, and I said, when are we going to start seeing your sons soon? He's like, I think he said something about they're going to Japan to work for a little bit, and then they'll possibly make their debut in NXT. And I said, cool. I was like, and this is when NXT's tag division was on point, and it was like on fire, and I'm like, cool, man, definitely keep him in NXT, because the main roster, especially Raw, doesn't know how to book a tag team. And it didn't click in my head. And then he looked at me and goes, "Excuse me, son. Do you realize I'm one of the head writers for Raw?" And I was like, "I do now." And he goes, "So what do you say about that?" I said, "I'm sorry, but you're wasting a tag division." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "You have guys like the Revival. You have amazing tag team divisions, and Braun Strowman goes out there and beats them all up every week. Can you?" And I said, "Braun Strowman won a title with an 8-year-old. Can you get some, like, your tag team division is amazing and you're throwing them away?" And he kind of got upset with me, I think. I was like,
yeah, no, I don't blame him, but at the same time, that's what happens when you challenge the people in charge.
Yeah. I was bummed, and I wasn't like trying to be like that guy where I'm just trying to be edgy, and because I respect Devon, man. He's the greatest, he's part of the greatest tag team of all time. But as a fan, I was disappointed. Like, I like Braun Strowman, but I don't want him to go out there and squash your entire tag team division by himself. Like, that's not fun either, especially when you have a lot of talented guys.
So, may I coin a phrase from Devon Dudley?
Absolutely.
Why don't you sit down and shut the fuck up?
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said to me without saying it. Yeah, but yeah. So now you're finishing up schooling and everything like that. When did you jump from the shelves of Hollywood Video to I want to become a wrestler and start training?
So, I've worked a ton of jobs in my life, dude. I'm manual labor. I've done all kinds of stuff, dude. I'm one of those guys where I'm like jack of all trades, master of some.
Yeah.
The old trade is master of none, but fuck that shit. I do all kinds of stuff, and I'm actually really good at a lot of things. So I got into the music industry when I was like 17, because I've been playing an instrument since I was 6 years old. I started playing music from a young age and I actually learned how to play the recorder while I was like visiting Germany when I was like 10 years old. It was kind of neat. And then once I got to about 17, 18, I had my own bands and we were playing out of the garage. And then I did that. I noodled around for a few years. And then I think when I was like 20, I got picked up by my first band. And by the time I turned 21, I was playing out. Excuse me, Jack Daniels. It's been that kind of a day. And hey, this is how the mad one does it, dude. And so it was like 21 to 23. I played in a band called Unhinged, and we got signed to a record label and toured the country for a little bit. It was cool. And then I went and played a whole bunch of bands after that.
What instrument did you play?
I'm a drummer by trade.
Nice.
I'm a drummer and a vocalist. And but I'm equipped to play guitar. I'm equipped to play bass. I play pretty much just about anything. That's what I've done my whole life. It's just my whole life was music and pro wrestling, because I was a fan of pro wrestling, but I professioned in music. Mm-hmm. But then once I hit 30, which is really weird, because once I hit 30, my profession in music turned into a profession in pro wrestling because I got my degree in electronics engineering. I went to college for about 2 years. I got a degree in electronics, and then 3 months after that, I met a guy at a yard sale, trying to fund the local Tidewater Comic-Con, and he owned a school in Virginia, and he owned a promotion and said, "Hey, come check it out." And that's what I did, and I stayed. And I stayed for quite a while. And I did everything I had to do to get through and make it. Injuries, illnesses, all the stuff. And I got there, and then that school got sold off to a gym in Yorktown, which was cool. And then I got picked up by former NWA national champion Damian Wayne, and he took me and my tag partner under his wings, and then that's where I really took off.
Damian Wayne, not Batman's son, the other Damian Wayne.
No, trust me, I give Wayne shit about that. It's like, you're not Batman's son, are you? Because he's like, no, fuck that shit.
Arguably one of the best Robins, but that.
No, he was, because he did not care. He went in there and just tore shit up.
Yep.
That was the thing about Damian, just, like, as opposed to like all the other Robins. Yeah, I'll have this conversation with you. He doesn't care because he's a ruthless killer. He was trained to be a ruthless killer.
Yep.
He did everything that Batman couldn't be because he was trained to, and Batman just didn't have the balls to commit.
Yep. Well, for the people who are listening, Damian Wayne is the son of Batman and Talia Ghul. So he was raised by the League of Assassins, and then was dumped in pretty much Batman's doorstep like a puppy, and then he had to train him to become Robin. And it's a whole comic book line. It's a very, very good series. Check it out.
Yeah, and then Damian was a complete asshole to Batman the whole friggin' time.
Yep, and Damian was out there killing people.
Well,
they made an anime
of
Wayne.
it.
They made an anime. I think the Son of Batman, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did. Which, by the way, DC's animated features are way better than their live features, hands down.
I agree, but I want the Snyder. I can't wait for the Snyder cut. I hope we get that universe back.
Dude, what if it sucks just as much as the original cut?
It can't be. It can't suck. I don't want it to.
It totally can. There's a chance it will. There's a chance it's gonna suck.
Maybe. I still want to see it though.
I'm gonna watch it too, but I still think it's gonna be a piece of shit, which is gonna be fine.
Yeah, maybe I should go into it. Maybe I should go into it thinking it's me a piece of shit, so I don't have the super high hopes.
You know, my philosophy on a whole lot of things is in life. If you have low expectations, you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah. That's how I go into a lot of horror movies. And I watch horror movies and people are like, that movie sucked. I'm like, that movie was awesome. They're like, what did you watch? I'm like, I don't set my bar high in horror movies. Because I go into it, like, I like B-rated. I like them cheesy. I like them corny. That's like the ones I like. So if I get something that, like, I don't know. So I go into them. If there's a point in time in the movie at all where I'm like, if I was a part of that, I would be fucking scared shitless. And I think that's how you should go into a horror movie. Not like a lot of people watch it and they put their testosterone up and they're like, that would never happen to me. That's not scary.
Nah, fuck that. If somebody's gonna come chasing me with a goddamn chainsaw, yeah, I'm gonna run away until I find something that I can hit them with.
Yeah, after I fucking shit myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna shit myself like 2 or 3 times, but then I'm gonna run away and then go find something I can hit them with even bigger and totally take over. It's all about finding that reversal, man.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna put us on a downward spiral quick. I just watched this movie called Midsummer. Did you see that one yet?
I refuse to watch it because it looks like a piece of crap.
Dude, it was fucking awesome.
I watched Hereditary, and all right, I'm totally gonna put myself out there. I don't give a shit. So I watched Hereditary. I went to go meet some friends to go watch it in the theater, but I went and got drunk at a bar before I went because I was friends with the people running it, and they were like, "Oh, Mad Max, free drinks." Hi. And I drank a lot of them. And I showed up like 20 minutes into the movie, and then I sat down, made a scene, and then I wasn't in my seat like 40 minutes, and I looked, and then once that, the scene where,
yeah,
and I was like, I'm out of here. This is too heavy where my emotions are at right now. Fuck this.
Yeah,
I walked right the fuck out and left. But then I did watch it like a year later, and I was like, this movie still sucks.
You should give Midsummer a shot for not having a monster or anything like that. I thought it was good, man. It was really like pagan-y, witchy. It was kind of creepy. I don't know. I thought it was dope.
I like pagans, dude. I'm like friends with so many. I actually kind of grew up around a lot of pagans, so I mean, it is what it is. We're not going to talk about religion, but you know, it does kind of tie in. It does kind of tie into some things. But I'll give it a shot as long as I don't have to pay extra for it, because I own a lot of streaming services. I don't want to have to like.
It's free on it if you have Amazon Prime.
Okay, I'll totally watch it then.
But
I want the director's cut. I want the producer's cut.
Oh yeah. I feel like the one on Amazon did not let.
I always want the producer's cut. I want to see how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I want to see how it's supposed to be. Because if the producer and the director are like, yo, if the marketing says this movie's screwed up, and it's like, but then the producer and the director go into interviews and be like, yo, this is how I saw it, and you're like, bruh, let me see that one.
Yep.
Like you're talking about
the Snyder
Justice
cut.
League.
Yep.
Snyder cut. That's how I am with horror movies.
Supposedly this is gonna set the bar for possibly developers and studios to give directors and producers more freedom in their movies and not make them cut stuff out, because 9 times out of 10 people won't buy the DVD right away because they know in 2 or 3 years the same DVD is going to come out with the director's cut and a theatrical cut, and everybody wants to see the director's cut more. So it's just to the point where, like, why don't you just give people what they want the first time?
So the big one, I'm pretty sure not everybody's going to agree with me, but I really don't give a fuck. The big one is Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Feliz Alvarez, his cut. So
we still haven't got that.
The remake, that's my point.
Yeah.
The remake of Evil Dead was awesome, but there's supposed to be like 45 minutes of shit that we ain't seen, and that movie was gnarly.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I please tell this story?
Absolutely. You're talking Evil Dead. If it's still Evil Dead, I'm on board because I fucking love Evil Dead.
It's so Evil Dead. That's my jam. I've got the Necronomicon socks from one of the horror websites. I have a
book. I have a custom book that was turned.
So I'm not going to plug them.
I have a custom book that was a cigar box that was turned into the book.
Oh, that's sick.
And it's made with latex, so it actually feels like skin.
That's incredible. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love the weird shit. So I took a good pal of mine who I thought was as twisted as me to go see this movie, and if you've seen the original Evil Dead, a little backstory: the first Evil Dead is what the studio wanted. The second Evil Dead, the guy who made it, Sam Raimi, he was like, yo, I'm going to make it the way I want to. This is how it was originally supposed to be made.
And named it Part 2, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, which Part 2 was actually a remake of Part 1.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was oh, dude, like Part 2 is way better than Part 1. And I tell it to everybody. So when they went ahead and made the new one, the scene where the chick gets, Barry Whited by the plants?
Yep.
So I actually had Marvin Gaye queued up on a soundboard on my phone. Knowing this.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming. I'm such a jerk to go to movies with. Dude, I farted during the quiet scene in House of a Thousand Corpses. It was incredible. I had like 20 people. I had 20 people laughing in this motherfucker. I didn't give a shit.
That's awesome.
It's all dramatic as shit, and all of a sudden there's like 15, 20 seconds of silence. I farted like 8 to 10 seconds in. And that was my second viewing in theater.
You held that fart in for that scene. It'd be funny if you farted.
Oh, I totally did.
If you farted and went whoops, and then got up and left, like you have to go wipe.
No, well, I brought my best friend with me because I was like, yo, you got to go watch this movie with me. It actually rolled and blah, blah, blah. And then we go and we do the thing. And then it's like, "Ooh," and then he's got the gun to the cop's head. And then, like, I counted like 5 or 10. I counted like 5 or 10. And I just went, and the whole place started roaring.
Yeah, every time I watch that movie now, because that's one of my favorite my wife's favorite movie series. Yeah, which is real quick. If there's young people watching, maybe hit the 30-second button. You know how strange it is when you have a Halloween party that your wife wants to throw, but then doesn't want to partake in because she'd rather sit in the couch and watch horror movies. Like my wife's version of
cool.
we're all playing beer pong in the kitchen, and my wife was watching horror movies and not partaking at all. But you know how uncomfortable it is when people walk in a house and their first scene they walk into is a guy molesting a girl with a pistol. like it was.
Oh, that's incredible! I love it.
And my wife's just sitting there like a kid in a candy store.
Were you watching the Texas Chainsaw remake when she pulled it out of her and shot her brains out?
No. She's seen it, but no, that's not what was on TV. Can you get the Necrocon book real quick? I'll show him on the camera.
Okay,
yeah.
so let me go ahead and finish my story real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm towards the end. So it's the scene where the vines and the plants make love to the woman in the middle of the Evil Dead remake. And I had this soundboard on my phone, and it just happened to have Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On." And there's like maybe 20 people in the theater, just like with the House of Thousand Corpse when I farted during the dramatic moment. I'm such a bastard. I don't give a shit. I think it's funny, and apparently other people did too. But nobody enjoyed this one. So when that's cool.
Yeah.
When the vines went between her legs and started entering the woman, doing all this stuff, that's pretty cool. When they started like doing the deal, I cranked up Marvin Gaye and said, "'Cause I feel it fine, baby."
Yo,
my friend was mortified. He was mortified. Looked at me and goes, and I thought he was as twisted as me. Apparently I found out how twisted he's not. He looked at me and goes, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?" It's like, how are you not appreciating this right now?
I would have high-fived you. That'd have been funny.
What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you, man?
When that movie the trailer came out for that movie, I remember just watching there was so much more to the basement scene that they didn't show, or like when she was talking through the basement door, and it was just so creepy. And then the movie came out and they it seemed like they didn't show any of that. And then I remember watching trailers. Like I remember when the movie was about to premiere and the director was like, "Man, the theatrical cut is awesome. You're gonna love it, but I can't wait to release the director's cut." So I remember it released on DVD, and I was like, "Man, I can't wait for the director's cut. I hope it sells with it." And it never came out. And I was like, "Man, I want to fucking see that version of the movie."
You and me both, dude, because it's supposed to be super incredible, because there's so much stuff they cut out of that thing that just did not get in there. Because they actually had to go to the MPAA like 3 or 4 times before they got that thing right.
Wow. Yeah, and didn't it set the record at that point in time for the most blood used in a horror movie because of the raining blood scene?
Until It Part 2, when I just watched it like a couple weeks ago. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody because it took me like a year to watch the thing.
The bathroom.
But no, it wasn't the bathroom scene. There was it was a bathroom scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was supposed to be like the bloodiest scene in a horror movie like ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
the most gallons of blood used like ever.
That's interesting. I you know what? Watching that scene, I think maybe because it's just in such a small, tight, conformed space, I wouldn't have thought it used that much. But like, I know for the longest time, it used to be Nightmare on Elm Street. Are you still there? It's saying connecting on my end. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Come on, internet. I'm going to turn this down real quick just so it's not beeping. Are you there?
Yeah,
right.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
My computer got unplugged.
Oh. Wow, your big Captain Spaulding thing, I love it. But yeah, so the Nightmare on Elm Street was the scene for a while where when Johnny Depp gets sucked into the bed. That was the record holder for a bit there, and then I guess then Evil Dead, and then I guess now It, which is interesting.
Oh, dude, surprisingly, It Part 2 was like super incredible.
Yeah, because in the original one, Part 2 was the worst part. when they turned into adults.
Oh, dude, it totally was.
It was horrible.
But the thing was, it really bummed me out because there was supposed to be the giant turtle, and they did not show that.
What's that?
Well, because like if you read the book for It, there was supposed to be like some giant turtle that actually like caused like a problem for Pennywise.
Yeah. He they cut the turtle out, and they cut a lot of the child rape and gangbang out, which is I'm cool with, I guess.
No, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather they not do that.
Yeah, because I think the bully in the book, you know how it's the bully and then the one kid who's part of the bully gang, but they kind of pick on him. I think he molests him in the book. Like the bully kid like rapes him or something, which is a kind of deranged.
Yeah, but that was the thing about Stephen King though, is they did like a bunch of like really weird shit with him.
Yeah. So trying to think where we left off here because we took so many twists and turns. This is the wrestling movie talk.
This is the Mad Max interview, dude. We talk about all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, the last thing we left off is you went to training and you've been there a long time. So you kind of stayed where you started for a while and you kind of established there. Where did the Mad Max Morrison come from?
So funny enough, I told you I was a music guy.
Yep.
Yep. So when I was in about 10th grade, I started in marching band for my first year. And I had long hair. I was just embracing metal, doing all this stuff. And I was doing the percussion. And I had me a bass drum. And there was this one part where we just like broke it down and grooved it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we broke it down and grooved it. And Maxx, with his long hair, and being that Slipknot was one of my favorite bands at the time, and they had all them extra percussion players, so I was like, all right, then I'm totally going to do this if I have the opportunity. So Maxx decided that he was going to bang his head, and yeah, so this is probably a first, but I just peed into 2 different bottles while we were talking, man. So
that's awesome. that's a podcast first. I've never had someone pee in a bottle on the podcast. That's awesome.
Hey, I had to take a leak in the middle of the podcast, so I just did it.
Nailed it.
All right, so I'm gonna try to get you back on my computer, get you off my phone. But yeah, I was in 10th grade. I was in the marching band, and things were cool. And I had this one part, and I just started slamming the bass drum, hitting that motherfucker hard, and slamming my hair around. And everybody looked at me and goes, "Yo, this is kind of incredible." That's from now on.
I think I'm losing you. It's beeping again at me.
Are you there?
Yep, I hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, there it is. I can hear you. You there?
Yep.
All right, cool.
We're doing all the technology right now.
Yeah. This is a roller coaster.
I told you it's a roller coaster. This is what you deal with when you deal with the mad one. It just happens. But yeah, I was in 10th grade. I was in marching band. I did the drum line. I had long hair. We had this one groove section. I banged it out. And even the drum line and the band director at the time looks at me and goes, "Holy shit, dude, you are grooving. What the hell?" And then eventually I get the name Maximus because they said, "Dude, you just take everything like 100%. What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
And so ever since 10th grade, everybody's known me as Maxx for short.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell everybody my real name. If you know it, you know it. If you know, you know. But and then I took a year off, and I went and did marching band. We actually marched in my senior year, and then I went and actually stayed. I was one of those guys where I stayed late. Like, I didn't have my shit together. I had all these different problems, all this kind of different stuff, and I stayed late, and I made sure I knew my stuff and all this other stuff, and like all the directors and all the different guys come up to me and be like, yo, what is going on? I'd be like, I'm fucking up. I gotta make it good. Well, all those nights of me staying late and doing that got us second in drums that year.
Nice. So your hard work paid off.
Yeah, it paid off. And then we had a good time. And so after high school passed and marching band passed, I got into my actual music career, and I didn't feel like going by my real name. So I was like, all right, I'll be Maxx. I'm Maxx Morrison. And I did that for a good long time. I did that for about 16 years. I did probably about 6 years of original music, 6 or 7 years of original music, and I did about 8 to 10 years of cover tunes where I was getting a paycheck for it. And just playing drums. Playing drums and singing. And then when I finally got into wrestling, I was like, well, I need a name. And they're like, well, what do you got? Well, I used to play in a band called Mad Hatter for like 2 years, and it was 2 Ds. That's where the Mad comes from, is because I used to play in a band called Mad Hatter with 2 Ds.
For boobies.
And we drank a lot. Hey, yeah. So Mad Hatter was probably some of the most progressive music I've ever played. It was probably some of the most progressive people I've ever worked with. And it was probably some of the most progressive partying I've ever done in my life. That is where I learned to love Jack Daniels.
Yeah, me and Jack, we can't hang out anymore. My wife doesn't like when we hang out.
Me and Jack used to be bitter enemies, but ever since Mad Hatter, we've been best friends.
Yeah.
But I did that, and we did a whole bunch of stuff. I did that for 2 years. And when I finally got into wrestling and started going to training, they were like, well, you need a name. I'm like, well, Maxx Morrison. And they were like, that's kind of cool, but what else can you do? I was like, Mad Maxx. They're like, why? And I told them why. I was like, dude, I play in a fucking band called Mad Maxx, or Mad Hatter. I'm crazy. And then, but you know how it always starts, where it's like everybody in wrestling is like, yo, I want to be the crazy guy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work. So I did a seminar like a year ago with Mike Quackenbush, and he told me it's like the crazy guy doesn't always work. You have to have more depth to it. And I was like, you know what? You actually make a lot of sense. Your track record speaks for yourself, sir.
Chikara.
Yeah, that was me being like giving props and being sarcastic at the same time.
Yeah.
But once I talked to him and I actually like picked his brain a little, it was like, so I have this Mad Maxx. He's not the movie, because truthfully, I didn't see the movies until maybe like a few years ago.
Wow.
So I really didn't give a fuck. But I talked to Quack, and he was like, yo, so what are you? Well, Matt, it was because of Quackenbush I came up with my backstory. So Mad Maxx is the product of being in the music industry too long and partied too hard, and everybody kicked him out, and he said, fuck this, and got into pro wrestling where everybody accepts him because he's crazy.
When did the headbutting, like the hard head thing, come about?
Probably instantaneously, because I've been doing that for years. It's kind of like a family tradition. That's kind of how we get out of situations.
Did you use your head?
It's funny enough.
You put your head down and run?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird, dude. Like apparently my grandmother did that to my grandfather like years ago, and I was like, yo, really? Let me try this real quick. And I tried it on a bully one time, and I laid him out, and I was like, yo, I think I have something here.
Have you ever gone headbutt for headbutt with a Samoan yet?
Not with a Samoan, but I did with a black dude one time, and dude, I have a souvenir from it. I have this like dent in my eyebrow, and you can totally see it. And I don't know if the match is on YouTube. It was me and my partner Rock at the time from noise pollution. It was noise pollution versus bacon and eggs. It was Ace Montana and Pork Chop Johnson. And
Pork Chop Johnson's a great name.
Oh, dude, Pork Chop's a sweetheart, but that dude's a motherfucker in the ring, dude. He is like seriously the son of the junkyard dog. And I've been in the ring with him like 2-3 times. And I've got a hard head, but that dude's got a hard head too. And when they meet, it sounds disgusting. It sounds like when two pumpkins like smash together. It sounds what a smashing pumpkin should be.
Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting. So we're putting our titles up at UCW like about a year or two ago, and against Bacon and Eggs, and me and Pork Chop go head for head, and we went for the double head. And he cracked me one good one. I got this dent in my eyebrow. I had blood pouring out my nose. Rock finished the match. I went to the back, and I was like, God damn it, what the fuck? But the cool thing is I had this cool photo afterwards because I looked like Kratos from God of War.
Because you got the blood, the crimson mask?
With the big friggin' beard just covered.
Now, you kind of alluded to the next question here. When it comes to your career and some gold, what are some promotions that put some titles on you, and what are some accomplishments you have in that department?
So, as far as titles go, I've got I don't have too many. I haven't done too many, but that's fine. I have a pretty large body of work.
Mm-hmm.
I was part of the inaugural tag team for Ultimate Championship Wrestling in Alexandria, Virginia. Held that for about a year. I was one half of the tag team champions at Shockwave Wrestling Entertainment in New Bern, North Carolina. Did that for a little while. Let me grab this real quick so you can see it. I am still currently and looking to defend my Eclipse Legacy Championship.
It's a nice belt.
From Altoona, Pennsylvania. It's a great belt. Love this thing. I'd like to trade it in for something a little heavier if you can catch my drift.
Yeah, and that's for what promotion? Legendary or Legacy?
No, that's for Eclipse.
Eclipse. Okay.
Eclipse Wrestling in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And come July, I'll have been champion a year.
Oh, wow. Cool. Now, one of the things I don't want to championships, obviously, you know, the certain fans are like, oh, what championships? But not every time.
What are you talking about? It fucking means something.
It does mean something, but some people think that's if you don't. It's like football. If you don't win the championship, you ain't shit, they say. But I disagree because like guys like Piper and the $1 Million Man never held a title, but they're forever in your hearts as some of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
You're a liar because Piper was Intercontinental Champion and WCW Champion, and
well, he never had the World Championship. Yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Ted DiBiase was also a tag team champion and held the $1 Million Championship. So
yeah, he never lost that.
Your previous statement is invalid, sir.
Yeah, he never lost that $1 Million Championship. He was that's like the 24/7. He just never lost it.
He did. He gave it to Steve Austin when he was the ringmaster.
Yeah, but never lost it. He gave it to somebody.
Yeah, true.
I missed the $1 Million Man. Oh my god. That one, I still remember that video where he had the kid come in the ring and said, "You can't dribble this basketball 6 times, and if you do, I'll give you $1,000." And the kid dribbled it 5 times, and it was when it hit the ground to come up for the 6th, he kicked it out of his hands.
Wasn't that kid like the whole damn show?
It might have been, yeah. It's one of the funniest clips ever. I love it. Oh my god, I'm a heel guy, man. I love heel wrestlers. They crack me up. So yeah, what was some of the last things you were doing right before this whole COVID broke out? You said you had a lot of bookings and some promotions you were working with.
Yeah, I had a lot of things on the books, and they all kind of went to shit. But that's perfectly fine, though, because it gives everybody a chance to like reevaluate. And the thing I kind of looking forward to is I'm gonna catch heat, but I kind of don't give a fuck. Is that there's going to be people that are going to be weeded out of this business that really don't need to be here.
Yeah.
And that's cool because it's going to give guys like me and many of other people that like are really working for this thing to shine. Because I've been working at this thing for going on 5 years, man. I'm on my 5th year. I've done a lot of stuff, and I feel I'm in my prime. I've got my shit together, and that's what I'm trying to do is go showcase that to everywhere that I could possibly do. And luckily for me, like since this whole COVID thing happened and with me taking time away from the ring, luckily for the last like 2 months, I've been able to go like still wrestle, or at least for the last month, I've been able to still wrestle. I found a place in Maryland undisclosed that I've been keeping my chops up and, doing matches, and we're promoting for a couple different companies, but it's all good. There's one, Grimm's Toy Show. I just did my first appearance for Grimm's Toy Show. It's got like 32,000 views in like a week. So if you ain't seen it, just dude, seriously look up Grimm's Toy Show. Look me up. I think it's the one where he's like dating Quarantina or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
on YouTube, right?
I'll send you
Grimm's Toy Show.
It's on YouTube. You'll see my vest in the picture. I'm facing nose to nose with this big, tall glass of milk, and it's so entertaining. But I'm finding ways to keep active, dude. I've done like probably like 16 podcasts in the last month.
Nice, podcasting it up.
On top of that, I've kind of developed my own where I just go live streaming whenever I'm feeling. It's called Social Disturbancing with Mad Maxx.
I like it.
Yeah, just having fun where it's just, if I'm not wrestling, I need some kind of outlet because I like to talk.
Yeah.
And I love to talk to people. Even though I'm an asshole half the time, I love to talk to people. And it's just, whether it's good or bad, it's just want to get people on, just associate and just kind of hear some stories and get them out there. You know what I mean?
That's why I love doing what I do. I talk about things I'm passionate about, but then I also get to interact with people and have fun conversations about stuff and learn something. You know, I think I recommend it for everybody. To be honest, it's really therapeutic.
See, and I agree with that. That's why I'm like super excited that you put the opportunity out for me to like come talk on this thing, because I was like, dude, yo, he wants to do this. I'm all down. It gives me an opportunity to learn, but it also gives me an opportunity to get my voice out there, but it also gives me an opportunity to, like, I don't know, maybe teach something, because I'm pretty sure I might say something somewhere along the lines that somebody might be able to learn from. Even though I'm, like, mad and crazy, I'm this wild fucking headbanger and all this other stuff, I have a lot of advice and a lot of, like, really good skills and things I'd be very willing to pass on if the right person just asks me the right questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some promotions that people can catch you at once everything goes back to normal? Like, where are some of your stomping grounds or some promotions you work at a lot?
So, here's a beautiful thing. I have this, thanks to this beautiful thing we call the internet, thanks to Al Gore. I'm not going to thank Al Gore for anything he's ever done except for, you know, inventing the internet. Actually, I think Butch Reed invented the internet, if I'm not mistaken. But I have a website called www.madmaxmorrison.com, 2 D's, 2 X's. And there's a widget. Well, it all depends if you're looking at the phone screen or the desktop screen. If you're on the phone, look at the bottom. I have a list of companies I work for. There's at least like 12 of them. If you look on the desktop, it's on the side. Honestly, hey guys, hey, insider tip. It looks way sweeter if you look on the desktop. It looks way fucking cool. There's even a background picture, like I'm telling you. Like, it sucks on it sucks on the phone. Just look on a computer. You're gonna love it. I promise. But yeah, no, I work for Ultimate Championship Wrestling in Alexandria, Virginia. I work for Vanguard Championship Wrestling in Norfolk. I work for Outbreak wherever in Pennsylvania. I work for Eclipse. I'm one of their champions in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I started doing a whole bunch of stuff for like 2-3 companies out in West Virginia. I've got Next Evolution Wrestling in North Carolina I work for. I've got Shockwave in Oh, here's the thing. I just put it. Yo, I'm totally gonna break the news. I just put a challenge out that hasn't been released yet because the promoter's slow as fuck. I put a challenge out for the AIWF East Coast Championship. I don't give a crap who he is. I honestly don't even know who he is.
Well, you want
His name is Vinny Vane. His name is Vinny Vane. Vinny Vane. I've looked this guy up on the internet and I didn't find shit. And it kind of bums me out because I was like, man, I was hoping for a bigger challenge. But that's fine. That's fine. Please surprise me. Vinny Vane, please surprise me because I'm coming for you and your East Coast Championship for the AIWF. I made my name on the East Coast. I plan on being the king of the East Coast. You best bring your best fight because I'm going to fuck you up.
I like it. I like it a lot. We got our call out on this show. I'm digging it. We're getting a lot of firsts today. Call outs and bottle peas, and it's been it's been fantastic. And then we'll get close to the wrap up point here. I don't want to keep you all night, but another section I like to do is I like to put people, not just promotions over, but some people. So who are some people that you worked with that were a pleasure to work with or you're a big fan of? And who are some people that you think who are some up and coming guys that you want to work with or you think that people should keep an eye on?
Okay, cool. If you have a few minutes, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, cool, because I'm going to put so many people over. Call me a bridge. Jesus Christ. All right, as far as like people that you need to be watching out for, I'm going to go for the old schoolers. You need to be looking out for Damian Wayne, the Mid-Atlantic badass. That dude has been going for 15 years strong, and he's like probably one of the toughest nails for nails, pound for pound motherfuckers you could put up against anybody in any promotion. That dude is never going to disappoint you. I'm also going to put up the Platinum Icon Phil Brown. That's my uncle. I love him to death. Dude, Phil should be way bigger than he is. I don't mean physically. I mean on the wrestling scale monumentally because he is an incredible feat to watch. And I've had so many good matches with Phil Brown, and I want some more. Like, I fiend for Phil Brown. Some more people you need to watch out for. You need to watch out for the Geordie Bulldogs from Newcastle, England. They're an incredible tag team. They're in their twilight, but they can still go. You need to look out for Simply Safe-ish, Wes. You need to look out for Wes and Live at the Clown. You need to look out for Born to Wrestle. You need to look out for the Real Life Freaks, Joe King and Demented Bradley. You need to be looking out for the Pain Train, Preston Quinn. You need to be looking out for motherfucking C.W. Anderson. C-Dub has given me some solid advice. That dude is... Can I tell a story?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're sitting in the locker room at this one promotion, and he's got this big wrestling belt in his bag, and I go, C-Dub, because this is like one of the first times I actually get to sit in a locker room and actually like it's just me and C-Dub, because I'm an ECW mark, and I can finally get to sit with this motherfucker, and I get to talk to him, and he goes, "Hey, He goes, "Hi, what's going on, Max?" He's so southern, but I love that dude so much. And he goes, "Hey, so yo, that's a pretty sweet belt you got. So what story?" And I goes, "Man," C-Dub tells me this. He goes, "This thing's so goddamn heavy. If I didn't have a stiffy right now, man, I wouldn't be able to hold this thing up on my waist."
I like it.
I was like, I said, "For real?" He goes, "For real." I goes, "You're my hero." So I have to say too, I've had chances to wrestle with Ruckus and Blackout. I love those dudes to death. James Ellsworth has been a wealth of knowledge. Love him to death. A lot of people shit on him, but dude, he's way cooler than you think.
I had Matt Turner on, and Matt Turner's he's very high in James as well. And I asked him, I said, well, you know, he gets a lot of heat because of the whole Snapchat, I guess you would say, debate. And he said,
"Can I talk?
Yeah,
Can I talk about that for a second?"
But Matt said, from personal experience, and someone who has a daughter and is 100% protective of his daughter, he's almost 100% convinced from having conversations with James that it's not true.
Dude, me having been around so many people younger than me and all this other stuff, however you take that, whatever, I'm not romantically linked to people younger than me because I like the older bunch. I like cougars. Sorry. And but no, having talked to James and talked to people around James, no, I 100% believe him, and I feel like his story is legit. Dude, that girl didn't tell. She left details out, so whatever.
Yeah.
That's not so much on him.
It's insane because, like, I know there's a story going on a little bit right now that I'm kind of torn on. I don't defend what was said at all. I'm not a fan of what was said, but also, like, to go back 10 years on someone's Twitter and pull up something and then trying to hold him accountable for it. It's a guy that works up in this area, that Clutch Adams. He was a PPW, and then he just got released from AEW.
Can I?
Sure. Yeah, you could dive into it.
James Gunn used to work for Troma years ago, who did Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
And all kinds of other tasteless movies.
Mm-hmm.
And probably about 10, 15 years ago, he said some like tasteless bullshit on his Twitter and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But James Gunn also went on to do Guardians of the Galaxy and all kinds of other bullshit because he also did the new Suicide Squad that's supposed to come out. And he got rehired by Marvel when they realized they fucked up.
Yep.
To do the Guardians of the Galaxy.
The new one, yep, that's coming
3.
out soon.
So the moral of my story is, if you have a past, it is what it is. Just make good and apologize on it, because dude, there's things you do in your career that may get you over, may not. But when it really comes down to it, being a human being, if you really got to say some bullshit to get yourself over, you really need to own that shit and apologize for it.
And that's exactly what he did. He issued an apology, but it just, I don't know. I like I said, I don't condone what was said, but being a white dude who's grew up in a predominantly white area, and when I was 20, 21 years old, I never dropped N-bombs or anything like that because I just think it's silly when white guys do that. But words that can be homophobic, I used the word retarded and stuff. I used to use them all the time, only because I didn't know at a younger age how much power those words had. And then, because listen, some people aren't the same people they were 5 years ago, and some people aren't the same people they were 10 years ago. And if you are, then you're not evolving as a human, and you're not worth your time, not worth much to anyone's time anyway. But just to hold, So it's just, I don't know. It's strange to me.
Can I for a second?
Absolutely.
This is gonna catch heat. I don't give a fuck. You realize the term retard is actually a music term for slow down, right?
Really?
Yeah. No, look it up. Music theory 101. The term retard in a music sense means slow down.
Yeah, you're right. No, I do remember hearing that. And it was a medical term for a long time too. That's how they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think it came from? It's all about how you use it in context.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's literally all I have to say about that. That was an education moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's strange. But, I feel like maybe Ellsworth was part of, we just talked about Enza, where, you're at the top of your game, and then people have to try to knock you down a couple pegs, I don't know, for whatever reason it may be. So it's just, I don't know, it's just, I never want to say I don't believe somebody if they're a victim of something. But at the same token, too, you have to be careful because some people use that to their advantage and their power, too.
I like to play the devil's advocate. I want to know both sides of every story because
Same.
I'm a story guy. I want to hear it all. I mean, if it sucks, if it's great, if it's terrible, if it's the best ever, dude, I want to know it all. I want all the details because that's just how I'm going to base my opinion. I want both sides.
Yep.
'Cause
I'm the same way.
I'm not biased. I feel like an impartial referee where I'm legit like, hey, ring the bell. Whoever fucks up, that's who's losing.
Yeah.
But I really want you to plead your best case. Let me know what's going on so I know where I'm looking at. Because I do want to be able to form my own opinion. I mean, I'm a human. I'm flesh and blood. I have this luscious beard. And I'm not going to judge people based on some bullshit that's out of context that other people are going to damn others for, because that's not my style. Because I know that humans exist, humans say shit, and they are going to do what they're going to do. But at the same time, you have to look at it in the context in which they're saying things to really understand exactly the full situation.
Yeah, and if you're holding somebody accountable for something they did in their past, you better well believe I hope you are the next modern day Messiah, because if you've never said anything in your entire life that was, you were uneducated on the way it was perceived, or you were uneducated on the way that word can hurt somebody, or you've never offended somebody, then you are the greatest human being I've ever met in my life. Because as a human, I know I said some fucked up shit when I was younger. I probably said fucked up shit a week ago, but that's part of being a human. You say shit, you learn from it, and you man up, or I don't know, that's not a great term, but you man up and you say, you know what, I fucked up, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, and you grow and you evolve as a person from it.
Not gonna lie, I dealt with a situation like that today at my day job, and it upset me a whole lot. And I don't get upset by a whole lot, but this one upset me. I had a guy come up to me and goes, it was a matter of where this guy got put into a situation where it was he didn't ask for it, but he ended up taking up a job and all this other stuff, and he doesn't care for me all that much for whatever reason or another, and he decided to swing his dick around, and he comes up to me while I have a customer in tow and goes, let me rack your brain and all this other stuff. And I'm like, can you not do this right now? Maybe do this another time? And went as far to expose me, but more so exposed himself in front of my customer to chase them off. And I'm just like, why and what the fuck? Because that has nothing good to do for anybody or anything. Why do you feel that was okay?
Yeah.
May or may not have anything to do with our conversation, but I really do feel like I had to get it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
This COVID thing really makes things hard to talk to people anymore. I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. Like, I've got pals that I've been friends with for a long time that I like talk deeply with that, sure, the COVID thing, yeah, it got a little strained, but now that we're dealing with the racial stuff, it's so much harder to talk to anybody because everybody's just so on edge.
We're on edge, and I think a lot of people are. I don't mean to say this in a term to offend people, but if you are offended by it, then maybe you should reevaluate. But as humans, we're sheep. We're 100% sheep. Most people don't look at both sides of a situation. Most people don't. They think they're right in a situation. They don't like to hear they're wrong, and sometimes they jump on the political side too, and it's kind of like being a sports fan. Like, oh, I'm this team's fan, and they can't do no wrong, and you can't tell me anything otherwise, and just replace sports with politics. And we're kind of blinded by other people's thoughts and opinions, and we can't say we're wrong, or we can't be willing to be open-minded and listen to both sides of the conversation. And then on top of it, you add racial tension, political tension, and it's getting hot out again, and then we've been locked in the house for almost 2 months. So it's just like the worst melting pot of all time, and it's just super. My heart hurts, man. Like, my heart hurts for people of color who, clearly are getting discriminated against. My heart hurts for business owners that are losing their business. My heart hurts for, for people who are just innocent bystanders that are getting caught up and getting hurt and murdered and killed. It sucks for everybody. I hope, because I'm a very positive person, I hope, it's a trial by fire. I hope, once this all calms down and breeds, I hope police officers, when they show up on the scene of a crime, or not even on the scene of a crime, when they have any human interaction, I hope they really consider how they handle that situation, because the people have spoken and they're not going to take it anymore. I hope people who are different races look at each other differently and realize that we're all in this together, and hopefully, they don't have. I just hope a lot of it turns in from a negative to a positive, and I hope it's time for people to grow, regardless of what side your views are on.
Yeah, and I really hope so too. The problem is a lot of people just are or aren't going to grow. And you realize it's like at where we are in life, in this society, it's going to be one or the other. It's like people that are going to go prosper and go upwards, or people that are going to be like, fuck this and go down.
Yeah.
And I really hope a lot more people are going to say prosper and go up, but I expect more people to say fuck this and go down.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not usually one to go on social media and remove people or block people, but man, I've been cleaning my friends list out like crazy, because I'm at the point now where it's like, okay, when you're faced with adversity, and this is like, and you feel comfortable because you feel you have a lot of people on your side who are you're gonna say some possible ignorant, racial, homophobic shit. I know where you stand now. I don't hate you as a person. I still love you. I hope you grow from this. I hope you get a better understanding at one point in time. But now I know where you stand, and I think I need to distance myself a bit from you. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, I think people who are more like-minded in positivity are going to form together, and maybe the people who fall behind will just do that, and they'll fall behind.
I agree with that. No, I 100% agree with that, because there's going to be people out there that have like views and like minds.
Yep.
And that's what's going to really bond people together. But at the same time, we're going to have people that are ignorant. And I will say that in the most like positive way possible. There's going to be people out there that are ignorant to what exactly is going on right now and what exactly is the issue. And then you're going to need some strong-minded individual to be like, this is what's going on. This is the non-biased issue. This is how I can explain it to you from this side and that side, so you can gain your own experience. And then that's what I think is what's going to help this nation, is when you actually have some unbiased minds that help educate the uneducated, that are going to be able to form their own opinions and go which way or the other.
Yep.
But I think when you have like the people that know what the fuck they're talking about, they're going to be able to talk to these people and get them to be like, hey, here is like the prime issue. This is what you need to be paying attention to. Here's where it's fucked up. Where do you stand? And be like, oh man, I didn't realize that was a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and side with the good side.
Yeah. Here's another thing I would really want people to do as well. If you have somebody on your friends list that you truly care about, are they a friend, are they a family? I'm not talking about strangers on the internet. Don't jump on a post you see from a news website or a news article and just jump in and just be part of a 200,000 comment chain, because it's just going to be nothing but venom and hate there anyway. But if there's somebody on your friends list who you truly care about and you have a different opinion with them, instead of commenting and just being like, I'm going to waste my time and put all this stuff in there, and then you guys are just going to battle comment with one another, and your words, you may not even be angry when you're saying it, but text can be misconstrued in different emotions. You can't get emotions out of your text. So I can read something, and depending on how I feel, because I think we have different opinions, that can be viewed in a different aspect. Hit that, even if you have Facebook Messenger, what we're doing right now, where you can physically look each other in the eyes, have those conversations with people. Don't get into a comment battle. Don't get into a text battle, because those words can be really misunderstood and misheard. Make a phone call. physically talk to the person. Be open-minded to listen to their side, as well as on the other side of this phone. Be open-minded to listen to their side. Meet and be willing to meet in the middle and understand one another. Just the whole idea of just texting and just going over words, you need to have that motion behind it. You need to physically look in their eyes. And I know with social distancing it's hard to do that, but technology nowadays, every phone has a camera. Every platform has a FaceTime service. Just try that, because I feel like instead of losing a friend over it, have a conversation.
So I will 100% agree with him, because one thing I like to do when I do podcasts is I like to talk to people, and that's one thing. If it's full audio, I don't necessarily agree to it nowadays, because I know people take things out of context. That's why, even if you can't see it, I want to make sure I'm looking my host in the eyes and be like, hey, what's up?
Yep.
Because I want to be able to, I want them to know where I stand. Because I feel body language is super important. You can tell by a person's eyes. Well, you can tell by my eyes. I've drank a lot of Jack Daniels. I've had a really crummy day.
Yeah. Well, I hope this good conversation kind of sparked you up a little bit.
Well, between this and the air fried wings I made this evening, dude, my evening is fucking stellar.
Nice.
So, if you can take anything from this conversation, just look who you're talking to in the eyes. Talk to them. Actually talk to them. Don't just... Everybody has their judgments and their opinions. Don't fall in those alone. Actually, look somebody in the face and be like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Actually ask the question. Actually ask these people. It's like, you can take what they're telling you and just be like, oh, okay, whatever. Or you could be like, okay, so what's really going on?
Yeah.
And then when they tell you and they look you dead in the eyes through a video or something, you'd be like, okay, cool. I got it. I believe you.
Yeah. So with that,
I'm looking this guy in the eyes right now, and you guys can't see it.
I'm like a statue.
His eyes are about as close as mine are.
And that's just me normal. I have tiny little beady eyes. I don't even have Jack in my system. People, it's funny. When I started dating my wife, she's Asian, but people think she's Hispanic. And I guess people in her school seen us together at the mall, and they're like, yo, Heidi's dating some Asian dude. Because people think, because I have tiny little eyes, I thought I was Asian. Yeah, which is hilarious. Yeah, but in closing, what else anything you want to get out there, talk about, plug?
I definitely have stuff to plug.
Sure, let's do it.
So, I have a website, an actual website, not just a social media.
That looks better on desktop.
It looks better on desktop. It's called madmaxmorrison.com. 2 D's, 2 X's. That's super important.
Don't put the third X in there. You'll get something completely different.
Dude, don't even get me started. Seriously, all the combinations, it's all fucked up. It's ridiculous. Because there is a gay dancer with a Mad Max Morrison with some combination that's out there.
You should collab with him.
I want to. Trust me. I need to get in touch with that guy and just see what's up.
I want to do a podcast for my other channel, Interviews Everyday People. I just want to reach out and just type in my name on Instagram or Facebook and find somebody else from around the world with my same name and interview them. I think that'd be hilarious.
Oh, dude, that'd be incredible. I want to get in touch with this dude and be like, yo, you into pro wrestling? Let's tag.
Yeah.
Seriously, you got free marketing. You ain't got to worry about none.
That'd be fantastic. Mad Max.
Easy marketing.
Mad Max with 2 X's and Mad Max with 3 X's.
Easy marketing.
Yeah.
But now you can find me at madmaxmorrison.com. 2 D's, 2 X's. I got a shop there with all kinds of stuff. I've got a link to my pro wrestling tees because I got a pro wrestling tees store, Mad Max Morrison. In the next month or two, be on the lookout. My movie Death Board is going to be released on DVD and Blu-ray, and I'm going to have those in tow. So there actually is a trailer on YouTube for it right now. It's called Death Board, the official trailer. Look it up. It's incredible. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. It's a Ouija board story.
Ooh.
It's Oh, dude, it's a whole lot of fun. There's like great actresses in it. There's a lot of boobs. There's a lot of butts. There's a lot of blood, dismemberment.
Sold.
Tons of Mad Max. It's going to be incredible.
Mad Max boobs?
Oh, dude, you get some Mad Max boobs.
All right. Yeah, send all those links over to me, and I'll definitely have them so people can just click on them, because people on social media are lazy. If we type, hey, go type in this, they're not going to ever do it. But if you have a little link that they can click on, they'll do it. They'll 100% do it. You got to make it easier for them.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that 100%. So, with that being said, if you go to madmaxmorrison.com, you can go to my ProWrestlingTeesStore.com. You can go to my merchandise store. You can go to the widget on the side of my page on desktop to see all the wrestling promotions that I'm currently working for. And on desktop to the side of the page where you can see my proud sponsors, where I am currently working with FNXFitnessSupplements.com. There's a code. I'm currently working with BuiltByStrength.com. There's a code. I'm currently working with Ray's Energy Drinks. This is my brand new one.
It's a cool logo.
There is oh, dude, it's incredible. Dude, these drinks are pretty good, and the sleepy time stuff actually works. It makes me fall asleep because I'm a hard sleeper. I don't fall asleep worth shit because my brain never shuts off.
I need to get sponsorships.
This stuff at least puts a damper on the switch. I'm like all for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you go to repsports.com or if you go to madmaxmorrison.com, go to the side, proud sponsors, go look at Rep Sports, Ray's Energy Drinks. Yo, 15% off. Just click on the link, use Mad Max at checkout, get your stuff.
Nice. And I will be ordering a Mad Max. I only have the sticker. I have to get a T-shirt. So I know people, when we do our shows, our normal shows that come out every Friday, we always take pictures in front of our banner with a different shirt on. So I'll definitely have to get a Mad Max one and rock it and put some plugs out there for you.
Well, there's like 4 to choose from, so you've got options. And the newest one I just learned about is my Chugs the Deathmatch Engine T-shirt, which is a play on the Thomas the Tank Engine. And there's actually a skull in his eyeballs.
Nice. I'm in.
I did not know that until today, and I've had that thing out for like 3 weeks.
Nice. Well, listen, man, it was absolutely a blast talking to you. We've talked about it all. We've talked about horror movies, comic books. We dove into some wrestling. There's some in there. You can find it. It's somewhere in there.
There's some.
Yeah. We peed in bottles. Well, not we. You peed in bottles.
I peed in like 2 bottles.
It was
a lot of pee.
It was an absolute blast, man. Thank you so much for doing this, and that'll do it for Tornado Tag Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. We're out.